you please briefly introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Dr. Vishwajyoti Srivastava, the President and Chief Operating Officer for SS Innovations International.
Yes. So the first question is, considering the current landscape of surgical robotic systems in India, you can discuss your opinion on that and why you did it.
Sure. So prior to us coming onto the scene, so currently in India, since the inception of surgical robotics, in 2002, India received its first surgical robotic system. In fact, our chairman, Dr. Sudhir Srivastava, he was the first surgeon to conduct the first robotic surgery in India in 2002 at Fortis Escorts Hospital at that time. And then, since then, if you look at the entire landscape till today, there's approximately 220 surgical robotic systems across the country. The majority of them came from an American company, but since our coming onto the scene in the last 2 years, the total number of systems, so we've sold placed more than 45, almost 50 systems, which accounts for roughly 1/4 of the total placements. I think the biggest problem or issue in the past, surgical robotics is a wonderful technology. And if we take a step back and ask the question, what is the point of technology? See, technology is only good if most can benefit from it. By no means, especially in healthcare, should technology be prohibitive to the patient, to the hospitals, to the doctors. See, the problem is that if you don't have access, and the very few systems in the country, then people might go outside of India, they train in surgical robotics, but then they come back home, and then they don't have access to the system. If you don't have access to the system, you cannot become good. If you cannot become good, patients will not seek your help. So it becomes like a very vicious cycle, in a sense. I think our main intention, the mantra system that we've developed, the catalyst that really sparked it was, that it shouldn't only be rich countries, rich economies, rich patients that have access to this wonderful technology. So our goal in developing the mantra system under SS Innovations was to take the latest technologies, build a first world-class system without compromising the quality, yet making it affordable. So ultimately, more hospitals could acquire the system, more doctors could train on the system, and see, ultimately the end goal is that more patients can benefit from such technologies.
And so, considering the burgeoning market of robotic surgery across the globe, how do you see India after 10 years?
India has a huge opportunity. I think with an affordable system such as ours, and we're actually already having ongoing discussions with the central government to be able to make surgical robotics available in postgraduate residency curriculums. I think that India, there's no shortage of excellent doctors, excellent physicians, patient advocates within the country. I think the biggest gap for a long time was access. You see, if you look at most medical devices today, we still import more than 80% of all sophisticated medical devices. In today's day and age, and if there's one thing that COVID pandemic did teach us, is that we have to become self-reliant. Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, all these initiatives, they have to have some meaning. I think India has a huge opportunity with an affordable system. You mobilize it throughout the country, you partner up with the government, and then you can make a true difference, because there's no shortage of excellent doctors in India. Everybody wants the latest tools, everybody wants the latest technology, and put in the right hands, I think there's an exponential amount of positive change that can occur in the country.
And is there any training program that your organization is organizing to train the doctors of new generation, so that they can be well vetted with the latest technology related to robotic surgery?
This is actually a very interesting question. So first of all, we have our headquarters and training lab in Udyog Vihar in Gurgaon. But we're also currently developing something called SSICRS, which means SS Innovations Center for Robotic Surgery, wherein people from across all specialties can then come and train. So this is actually something that we're building out right now. And our goal is to make them, so of course we'll have our pilot project here in NCR, but then the ultimate goal is to make it available across all regions of India, so that ultimately any surgeon who wants to come and learn, not only our system, but the core principles of robotic surgery. Doctors can come and also learn a little bit about the engineering that goes behind surgical robotics, see, because ultimately they're the captain at the helm of the ship in all surgical operations. So it's very important that beyond a clinical point of view, that they do have some understanding of how the machine actually operates, and this will translate into better troubleshooting, being able to mitigate, risk, smooth operative workflow. So that's, it's like when you're driving a car. It's good to know about your car. You shouldn't have to be dependent on others, so that if I need to change my oil or change a tire, I'm not stuck. So ultimately we want to enable and empower not only the surgeons, but the hospital programs through their nurses, OT support staff and technicians, so that, when they acquire our system, it's an enabling technology for the hospital, for the doctors, and ultimately benefits to the patient. So our goal in coming up with the training center will be very different, very radical, and I think this is part of the reason why when you have a company such as ours that's started by doctors, run by doctors, all the input we get are from other doctors. So we're truly, not only physician advocates, but the ultimate goal is to work together to become patient advocates, and training, yes, is a very critical part of that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.